Well, it was funny. We were talking when we went to dinner in Vegas, and LeBron and you guys were talking about your old pickup games back in the White House and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, we were talking about for my 49th birthday, because at that time I was still playing pickup regularly, even in the White House, and we had a group of guys. My body guy, basically my assistant, was a guy named Reggie Love who had played on the national championship at Duke. And he had a bunch of friends, and so we'd get regular pickup games. There was a court at Fort McHenry in D.C., and sometimes NBA guys would come through, and we'd set up a pickup game. So I remember one time KD and Harden, when they're both still at OKC, came through, and we had a pickup game with them, and they were high quality. And look, I was like a good high school player, right? So I'm not in these guys' league, but I can get up and down the court, and I'm smart enough to pass the ball or set a pick instead of trying to do stuff. And they're not playing hard. But anyway, 49th birthday, we decided, well, let's have like our own little all-star game. So we set it up sort of as a benefit, because we had a bunch of wounded warriors in the stands so they could watch. And we set it up where we had 3 pros and 2 amateurs on every team. But everybody came. LeBron, D-Wade, Derrick Rose, I think coming off his MVP year, CP3, Pau Gasol, Joakim Noah, Carmelo was there. So, Chauncey Billups, a whole bunch of guys. And Kobe came, but Kobe had just come back from Germany. I don't know, his blood was, he had that blood work. So he couldn't play, but he sat in the stands. Bill Russell showed up. Magic came, and I'm pretty sure this was the last time Magic ever actually played full court basketball, or at least he tried, because we didn't think he was going to play. And he said, "Oh man, I'll." So he puts on a jersey, and he's throwing behind the back passes, but they're kind of going in the bleachers because I don't think he had played for 10 years. But we had a great time, and I got to say, I was. Everybody's playing kind of 3/4, although they are playing harder than y'all playing these all-star games. Yeah. I will say that. And so I hit a couple, threes, and I had a little spin move, and I threw a oop to D-Wade. So I was feeling pretty good about myself. And I crossed over CP3, and later I was kind of, somebody was talking a little trash to him. It was like, man, he crossed you up. And he's, oh man, I wouldn't. But I do think I caught him by surprise. So I was feeling pretty good. Derrick Rose then goes on a radio show, I think a week later, and somebody asks him about, I heard you played ball with the president. How was he? He says, actually, he was pretty good, but he was really slow. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm 50. And you're the fastest person right. in the NBA. Of course I seem slow to you, man. He was kind of serious about it. He was all like, yeah, he didn't have great foot speed. Sorry. Yeah, compared to you, nobody does, man. Come on. Cut the old man a break.
Well, he got he just retired. So like 15 years from now, you can ask him that.
Oh, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to ask him. Come on, let's have a foot race. Right.
So. Did you think guys in the games in general were scared to be physical with you?
No. I remember there was Joakim Noah. We were just in the shoot around, and I teased him a little bit because he had this weird corkscrew shot. And I think he got a little bit salty about it. So when we played his team, I was bringing the ball up the court, and suddenly he started picking me up full court. And he was like defensive player of the year, right? So he's 6'10", and he's got his arms out. He's slapping the floor. And I'm thinking, all right, let me just hand the ball to him because, I'm not getting past him.
Speaking of Mr. Obama, we heard a story about you going to his birthday party, and
Can you tell the story playing pickup with him and maybe throwing elbows, maybe not, depending on who you ask?
I mean, I think he was talking a little bit of trash. I know it was his birthday, and so I think that...
Wait, Obama was talking trash specifically to you?
Yeah, he was talking trash to me. But it was first of all,
like,
what is
Obama as a trash talker? Like,
so I'm checking my emails, and it's like, you've been invited to Obama's birthday party at the White House. It's like, you are allowed one guest. So my mom's in the kitchen making me a sandwich. And I'm like, Mom, come check this out. And just like, she was so hype. And she's like, oh, I'm coming. I'm coming. So I'm the only one who brings my mom. Everybody brings their wives and stuff. And I didn't even know what we were there to do. I didn't know who was going. I just know I'm invited. So we go, and it's just like, the next thing you know, it's like I'm in a van. You know, it's like LeBron, like Kobe, all, you know, thank God Derek was there, you know. I'm weirded out with all these guys all the time anyway. And it was awesome, man. Like, we ended up competing. It was awesome. And I know the president was just like, you know, I want you guys to compete and stuff. And he was, I just remember, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was talking a little trash to me, like, you know, and so I picked him up full court, and I was just kind of, you know, give him a couple bumps along, you know, just a couple bumps. I'm not trying to hurt the guy, but just letting him feel it, like, yo, this is a different animal.
Full manhandle, but not just letting him know, like, dude, if I wanted to turn it on, like, this is what it's gonna feel like. I
mean, you know, just a little bit. I would, come on, let's not push it. My favorite moment of that whole thing was, so I'm sitting next to Kobe, and we're like, we have the next game, and LeBron gets a steal, and he's about to, you know, he's on the break. So obviously, you know, when LeBron catches the ball on the break, it's a sight to see. Everybody's like watching, like, okay, what is he gonna do? And I just remember Kobe turns around and starts talking to me like about something complete. Like, he didn't even want to acknowledge the dunk. And I was like, okay, I know I'm sick, but this guy's sick as hell too. I was like, this guy won't even acknowledge. I was like, wow, that said a lot to me, that he wouldn't even acknowledge LeBron.
He didn't want that
fast break.
He didn't want that visual.
He didn't want the visual
in his memory.
He didn't want the visual of him watching LeBron dunk like this. He didn't want that picture of him looking. I was like, wow, there's levels to this.
Oh, that's a hell of a way to end this episode.
But generally in our pickup games, people didn't take it easy on me, because I would talk about them after I beat them, and then they'd get mad. And I've got proof, because in one of the games, pickup games, not this All-Star game, but I got a bow in my lip, and it split it open. I had to have 12 stitches, and I had to speak the next day. So you can see in this is, I think, Thanksgiving weekend. You can see as I'm talking, I got a little caterpillar right on my lip. It's just the stitches were in there. So and the photographer caught a sequence of me getting bowed. I'm on the floor. There's blood all over everybody's standing over me looking. And I had it printed out, and I sent it to the guy who was just some staffer on Capitol Hill. I had it framed, and I signed it to him, to the only guy who ever got away with assaulting the president.
Is this public knowledge? Like, you can find it?
Well, I'm sure he's told that story, because I'm sure he's got that thing up.
That's just fun fact.